Producers.
Of course
Hey
you would.
y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. Oh, okay, I'll do it. It is Wednesday again. I don't know, these Wednesdays be rolling around super fast. Well, time is just going fast. So it is poured out with she and tea on this
Hey, y'all, hey, y'all.
Wednesday. We back again, y'all. So we're just having candid conversation. And as I put in the description about who knows what today, because we just be all over the world, you know. But candid conversation, y'all feel free to join in on the conversation, leave comments, Yeah, it's our safe space. And so y'all feel free to join right on in. I got a little music playing. Can you hear it?
Very softly, very softly.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Okay, cool.
I
Yeah.
can hear that. I can hear that. I can hear that, friend.
So we are pouring it out tonight. Let's start with what we pouring it out to. Well, she over there is eating and partaking.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And
Mm.
what do you have? What are you eating on and drinking on? Oh, you didn't tell me to change the layout.
I can't see it on. Oh.
There we go.
There we go. I always forget, and then I'm like, we're so small. I'm
I
looking.
know. I was like looking like you have what? Let me see your drink.
Oh, girl, let me. What's going on with my hair here? Let's put it. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I have a peach sunrise.
Looks good.
Thank you. And I have some barbecue chicken over here, pizza.
Barbecue chicken. I haven't had a barbecue chicken pizza in a long, long time.
I'm really upset that you live in Chicago and you have that good pizza there, and I haven't had any of it.
Baby, we got the best pizza in Chicago. Don't let them fool you and tell you New York. New York does not. No way, no day.
I have
Mm-mm.
not had either. I have not had either one. Um I have not had New York pizza, and I have not had Chicago pizza.
Well, Chicago, I think we're famous for the deep dish, but in the hood, we got some good greasy pizza that is not the deep dish. It's not flat. It's not a flat crunch crispy like. It's a flatter. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just so good though. Yeah,
I
it's
gotta
just.
settle for plain old Papa John's.
I used to eat that in grad school. Papa John's.
Yeah,
Y'all don't
like
have no good pizza places there.
we're not known for pizza. I mean, we have pizza here, but we're
What
not
are y'all known for?
soul food.
No.
In the South, yeah.
Oh, in the South. I'm saying specifically, Georgia is known for what? Peaches?
Hmm.
What? Okay.
Which I don't understand it because I have yet to go to a place where I have found a pizza that I'm just like, I mean, peaches, like a peach pie,
Oh,
peach cobbler, peach pie. Like, I feel like my grandma made all that so well. My mom, I make it. So I don't go anywhere and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta have it. Because I just make it. When I want a peach pie, I make it.
but
When I
are
want,
the peaches really juicy and sweet?
I
No.
mean, I guess you, I'm not a fruit person. And
Oh,
yeah, I'm not a fruit person. Like, I'm not a fruit connoisseur, I guess you should say. Like, I don't go around and taste different fruits and I'm like, oh my God, this is so fresh and this is so, I don't know the difference. Like, fruit is fruit to me.
oh, see, I'm a fruity. I'm a fruit. I love fruit, but it has to be good fruit.
So
Up
when,
north,
hmm
we don't
y'all
have
don't
good
have,
fruit.
okay, so when you come down here and when peaches are in season, you have to try them to see.
Yeah. I'm not really a peach person though. So like when I have peach cobbler, I
Mm-hmm.
love the crust and the
But you take the
juice.
peaches out. Mm-hmm.
I'll have maybe a little sprinklings of peach, but not a whole peach. I'm not gonna just dig in and get a whole peach. No.
I don't like, so you know there's a difference between a peach pie and a peach cobbler.
Well, peach pie would be like in a pie crust.
Like, yeah, you make your own slices of pie
Oh yeah.
and you put it on top, you layer it one side. So I make it in a like a rectangular dish. Like you buy the peaches and you pour them in the dish and you leave it on the stove and you like let it heat up on the stove and you put sugar in it and you put well, it's some water, just a little bit, so it's not completely so sweet. And then you put little dumplings in it. You make your dough, and then you drop little dumplings in it. And then with the rest of your dough, you make one
Oh,
pie.
I know, across, right?
Yep. And then they go this way. So you got two, and you put it in the oven. That's the pie. So the cobbler is just, I don't even know. I gotta ask my mom because I'm so used to making the pies. I think it's like peaches and butter. Oh yeah, butter is in the pie too. And I think you put milk in there. I'm not sure. Don't get me
Well,
like I don't want
I
nobody to be
think they're the
like,
same. They're just in a pie crust.
well, you don't do a pie crust with the cobbler.
Right.
It makes its own while it's in the oven. That's the difference. You actually have to make the pie crust with the peach pie.
No, you do have a crust with the cob peach cobbler.
But it's how you make it.
Oh, yeah. I think it's thinner, right?
Well, with the cobbler, we don't we like pour all the ingredients in
You
the
just
like a
dump.
dump. Hmm.
Yeah.
And then when you have all that stuff together, like the milk and the butter and all that stuff, you put it in the oven and it like cobblers up.
Oh, cobbler.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
difference.
Yeah. Well, I
So
don't.
it's a different. That's why I was like, do you know the difference between the two?
No, because I'm not eating peach pie for sure. I'm not eating the
Mm.
peach pie and cobbler. I will eat the crust and the juice.
I like peach pie more than peach cobbler because the peach cobbler, the crust is more like fluffy, whereas with the pie, it's more like crisp, like a crispy kind of.
No,
So
see, mm-mm. I don't like the crisp. Probably not.
mm,
I don't know. I can't say because I haven't had it. But I just peach. Just hearing it now. When I think of peaches, they seem like they will be like I would love them. I love the smell of like peach fragrances.
mm-hmm.
But eating peaches, yeah,
What about drinks?
probably a drink. Yeah.
You just told us a texture thing.
Oh, because I don't like strawberries. I don't like
Mm-hmm.
strawberries, but I like strawberry juice, meaning
Mm-hmm.
strawberry juice. So, like, if I go and get a sundae, I'll say the strawberry juice, not strawberries.
Mm. You like me. When I get the when I get a strawberry shortcake, I don't want the strawberries, but I want the syrup. I don't want the syrup, the Hershey syrup. I want the actual real strawberry syrup.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we're
Hmm.
like that area. I think it's a texture thing for me.
Okay. I'm not sure for myself. With I just strawberries just aren't my thing. When I was younger, I used to like them.
So what's your favorite fruit then?
Favorite fruit?
Mm-hmm.
Favorite fruit. That's a good question. I love fruits. Maybe blackberries. I don't know. Apples with peanut butter.
Is that really a fruit though?
That is an apple. Well, apple. Okay, so apple by itself, no, is not my favorite fruit. So let me think. Let me think this through. Oh, cherries. Cherries.
Oh, I hate
Probably
berries.
Bing cherries.
I hate them.
What?
Hate them.
With the seed in it. Bing cherries.
No cherry.
How about
No.
the ones that are lighter? The maraschino, not
No
maraschino.
cherry.
Oh, no cherries, period. Okay. Cherries, yeah, that's my favorite.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Wow.
Mm-mm. Cherries, I don't know. It's a taste. It's another like when I get the cherry and I don't know. It's a taste thing for me. But I can, yeah. I don't really like anything cherry. I don't even like the way cherries taste. It's not even the texture. It's a I don't like it the way it tastes.
Oh, wow.
What is
Different.
that? Grenadine or whatever it's called. Grenadine.
Grenadine.
Does that have a little cherry something in it?
I don't know. It
Um,
goes in drinks, right?
yeah. I
Yeah.
can do a little bit of that, but just to like have a strong cherry. I don't even really like the way cherries smell.
I never paid attention that they smell.
Ugh.
Okay.
My daughter loves them. Katie loves them. She can eat a whole jar.
Well, I get them. You talking about like a bag of them?
The maraschinos or whatever you're talking about.
Oh, the jar of those. Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
take the
yeah,
Mhm.
yes. She does it. She'll get a
with some
spoon.
whipped cream.
No, she don't even need that. She just get the
I don't have to have it
spoon
either.
and she just dig in there. And I'm like,
Yeah,
ew.
those are good. Yeah,
James likes them too.
yeah. I'm figuring out by listening to y'all show that we're opposite.
Yeah. Who
I'm
me?
more
You?
like I'm more like James than
James.
you. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because the last show where y'all talked about, I found out that you are the more reserved one in the sense of he tries things,
Mm-hmm.
and that's me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I'm not. I'm not an adventurous person like that. Uh-uh.
Yeah, I'm more of the daredevil.
No, but like I said, I think it goes to childhood.
Yeah, I know it does. I heard your conversation. I
Mm-hmm.
heard what y'all talked about. Your
Yeah.
mom kind of, I don't want to say stifled you, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. She held me close.
Mom, don't get me.
She
Because
held
I
me
know she
close.
going to watch it.
And today is her birthday. Happy birthday, mom.
Happy birthday.
She, we'll just say she held me close.
Yeah, right.
She was very cautious with me.
But that's funny because that's the same way with my daughter. My daughter is more she's not the daredevil. My son is more of the he's more like me. But that's because it was me and her. Going through the divorce, it was more so me and her.
Mm-hmm. I think
Yeah.
that plays major, like, because if your parents don't encourage you to try things, or they make you feel scared to try things, then I think it does have some type of impact on you, even if it's like you don't think it's like innate. Is that it? It's not very present. I feel like you still have something on the inside of you when you want to try something that's like, no, I don't want to do it.
And
So
say,
James,
oh, go ahead. Mhm.
so James is. Oh, we ain't talking about your drink. What you drinking?
This is a raspberry colada. I
Mm,
tried it. Raspberry colada comes in like the margarita. It's a Jose Cuervo. Was the first time I saw it. I said, okay, let me try it. And I got blueberries in there.
is it good?
It's okay.
It's in that big bottle, like, and you just shake it like a premix kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have to look at that. Mine is a Smirnoff
Okay.
in the can, like the can. They have the little mixed drinks now.
Oh, that you can pour into the gut. Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. I think I would buy it again.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but James and I, like, I think that we think it's important for her to, like, we have a really good balance, like, he'll do the jet skis and things with her. And if it was just her and I, I'd be like, no, 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 don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Something can
Mm-hmm.
happen. Da, 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 da. But he's, and then it makes me, I don't hold her back.
Right.
Especially when she's with him. I don't hold her back.
That's good. I think that kids should try any and not any and everything. almost everything while they're young. I wasn't encouraged to do it, you know. So I think that's the reason why I became probably a daredevil.
So you said
I,
it could go away. So you could either like close off and not want to try anything, or you could just be somebody that want to try everything.
yeah, I think both my parents were scary. Um, just knowing what I knew when I was younger, because I don't know now, but I think both of them were scary people, and
Mm.
so they wouldn't have pushed us to try anything.
Mm. Mm.
Nothing but religion, child. That's what they would have had us try. Try this religion right here.
Which is like one of the things that you got to be the most scared of sometimes.
You know, they should have been scared of that.
Very cautious, right?
Yeah, very cautious, right? Because of that, because of
Mm-hmm.
what their beliefs in the religion, made them cautious. They
Mm-hmm.
couldn't do this. I can't do this. You can't do that. All these restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, once I got away from the religion, I'm like, I'm trying it all, honey.
So what's the scariest thing you've done?
Jumped out that plane.
You did it?
I died for 2 minutes. Yep.
How high up were you?
14,000 feet.
How old were you?
I was, let me see, was it, I think this was me and Tyrone, was it first year or second year? We've been together 8 years. Probably 8 years ago, 7 years ago, maybe. So I was 45. Yeah,
So
now,
you?
I don't know if I would do it again. Maybe I would, but I like literally kicked the man who was on the back of me. He said, I bet you don't never want to do this again. I said, nope, and nope, and nope. I kicked him so much he was like, whew, I'm to the ground. I didn't pull the thing. He had to pull it. I was gone. I was like literally like dead for 2 minutes.
I was
Mhm.
like, I wouldn't survive. I wouldn't survive.
Well, so the person I jumped with, she was all gung ho, right? And I was at first until I looked out the plane and I tried to turn back. And the next thing I know, boop,
Bam.
he pushed me out. He pushed me out because he knew I was going back in. I was going back in the plane, coach. Like, no,
Don't
sir.
put me in,
When
coach.
it looked like ants, every building looked like a little ant. And I looked down out the plane. By the time I did that, he said, whoop, because he knew I was going back in. I was resisting. I was like trying to go back in. Nope.
So Tyrone didn't do it with you?
No, he said he's supposed to do it. He
He
ain't do it.
said he gonna do it.
He ain't do it. Nope. I see these things on like overseas and stuff. Like I seen one in Africa. They got like a big waterfall. I mean, it looks high up, right?
Yeah.
And then they what is that called? Zip line from one side of Africa to the next side. But you're going over the waterfall. So if it snaps, you're done. I'm considering that. You said no way, no day, huh?
I will beat you on the other. And listen, I am the biggest hype man. I will be like, yes, you got it. You can do it. You can do it. But me, no way. Oh no. I feel like I would stop breathing. Like I just feel like I would stop breathing.
Probably. Seriously, that's what I did jumping out the plane. I stopped breathing to the point where I didn't even show Tyrone the video. He has not seen it yet. And I don't think I won't show nobody because I was fighting the whole way.
Oh.
Yep.
James, 1 year for my birthday, we were supposed to go to like I think it's called I don't know, but it's an indoor skydiving spot.
Oh yeah. I think we got it here too.
Yeah, no, he had to cancel those tickets.
The indoor?
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
You can't get too high indoors.
Oh, hey, I didn't want to think about it. I did, however, do they have this place here called Urban Air, and they have like a little tube in there where somebody holds you and they let you get a little bit and they spin you around and all that. That's as much as I'm gonna do.
So you don't do roller coasters or none of that.
You didn't hear what I said,
I
girl.
didn't.
Listen, I did two. I think this for Cadence. We went to Six Flags with her and a couple of her friends for, um, it was Black Friday. That's what we did for Black Friday last year. And I was like, Are you gonna ride the roller coasters?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm riding. Are you riding too?" I said, "What now?" She's like, "How you gonna ask me to ride rides and then you don't want to ride them?" I was like,
Right. And get in the front. You got to get in the front though. Yeah, you got to get in the front.
"No." So I rode 3 roller coasters, and that was it for me. 3. I did 3, and it was amazing. I was very proud of myself for doing 3 roller coasters. 3. I would have did 4, but Batman wasn't open. Batman was closed down because of the season had. So I did not do Batman, but I will go back in the She's already setting up her date. I will go back, and my limit is 4. I'll do 4 this time.
So the scariest thing you've done is what? Do you go in haunted houses?
No, because I don't like jump scares.
Yeah, no, not now that I won't do.
No, I can't.
That
I
I'm
can't
not doing.
do. Yeah, I can't do jump. Now I do love horror movies, like in horror, like shows. I will watch all of that. I love
Like
that.
what?
Um,
What's horror to you?
all the Jasons, Freddy Krueger, Michael
Oh,
Myers.
okay. See, that's not scary to me. I
Um,
don't like the demonic ones.
oh, you talking about exorcism?
Yeah, no, that stuff, no.
That's too close to being real for me. I can't watch that.
Right.
I think that no, I can't. I used to watch them, but it seemed like they got more and more just too much going on with them. And so yeah, it's not so much that it scares me. It's just okay. So the scariest movie I watched, I think, was like Amityville Horror. That was pretty scary.
Yeah, I won't know.
Now and then, like they had this show on Netflix called I think it was The Haunting at Hill House. Yeah, like that kind of stuff. And I used to watch it at night in the bed.
I don't even like that stuff played in my house because I'll be feeling like
Gonna
them
go through
demons will,
TV.
or be living in your house after that. Nope, nope, nope.
I go through my periods. Like I go like right now, I'm like, no, I don't want to watch it. I just can't watch it. And then some days I'm like, oh, I'm finna sit down and watch it. Like I go through moods when I feel like I want to watch it, and then I don't want to watch it. I want to watch it. I don't want to watch it. So yeah, I think, but horror movies don't scare me. But haunted houses, I don't.
Yeah. Let's see. I know mine. Part of mine is not watching those movies and stuff because being a Jehovah's Witness, we couldn't watch that stuff. It was demonic, and so we were told, no, you can't watch that stuff.
You know what was so strange? And my mom, like, as as religious as my mom was, like as in the church as she was, James was calling me.
Oh,
As in the church as he was, girl, as she would not listen. We was gonna watch us a horror movie.
mm,
She really was into that. Like any kind of horror movie, like we got that. That was one of our pastimes, watching horror movies together. Even to this day, my mama still is down for watching a good horror movie.
mm,
So that's something that I got from her.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what's the scariest thing I think I ever did? Oh my God. when I went on the Tower of Terror at Disney World.
No, I haven't got on it.
Oh my gosh. So what's scary about that is it's the two things. It's like horror. So you got jump scares, you got all that kind of stuff. Plus, you get on the ride, and the ride is like, gory because it's talking about like, how it's basically a haunted elevator. And so like it's janky, and so that's why it drops you. Like,
Oh no. Mm-mm. Nope. Ain't gonna happen.
yeah, that
I
was
want to
probably
do the
the scariest
slingshot
thing.
in
Oh
Florida.
no, Kaden wants to do that. She did something very similar to it, to where they took her all the way up like this, and they dropped her, and she flew forward.
Yeah.
She did it twice. I
Yeah.
have to send you the video of her doing that. But yeah, she did it. I was shocked that she did that because she's a mix of me and James. Like some stuff she's like, I'm gonna do it. And then some stuff she's like, I'm not doing that. She's not that big of a roller coaster rider, which is what shocked me about her doing that. But she did it. Yeah. Yeah, but that was the scariest thing. And then James tried to get me to go to Disney during Howl-O-Scream, or I guess it's called. I don't know what it's called there at Disney, but yeah.
I don't either, and won't find out.
They had them, and then he tried to get me to go into the Haunted Mansion. And I was like, no, please don't make me go, please. Because they come and they stand and they just, and I'm like, oh, just take me out, because I hit somebody out.
I'm sure they get punched plenty of times.
Yeah. We went this past year for Howl-O-Scream at Six Flags, and it was fun, actually. Six Flags was fun, but I don't think we went to the very scary parts.
Yeah. Not doing that. I'll jump out of a plane before I do that.
So you don't like jump scares?
Yeah, I don't like, and I think it's ingrained in me, since a child. I don't like that demonic stuff.
Yeah, I can see that. Are you afraid of it, or you just don't like it?
Am I afraid of it? I don't know, because I've never experienced it. I just think in my mind, walking through a tunnel, I'm holding on to somebody. I'm going to be holding on to somebody. That's for sure.
So you're afraid of it?
I'm afraid of it. There you go.
Yeah. Yep. That's crazy how your childhood can set you up like that. And then you have to be the one to decide if you want to like do something different.
And I don't want to do nothing different in that case.
I was talking to my therapist on Monday about I got to go back and watch your video about Are You a Friend? I just saw that come up on my Facebook.
Oh.
So I got to go in there and watch it, but that's basically what my conversation was about on Monday with my therapist. We were talking about friends, and one thing that I did not like, I feel like I knew it subconsciously, but consciously it wasn't playing in the forefront of my mind until she put it there. And she told me that friendship is a choice.
Is a choice?
Yeah. Like, you choose your friends.
You didn't know that?
I mean, like, I knew it subconsciously, I think, but I don't think I was operating in it. You know how you know something, but you don't operate, like, you don't really, it's because it's a powerful thing. Choice is a powerful thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that I think that in the beginning, I'm talking about this because going back to childhood, like anybody that comes in your life, you almost have to receive them.
Okay.
It's the Christian godly thing to do,
Mm-hmm.
But I realized that no, you don't have to let everybody in your life, and you don't have to just because you're introduced to somebody that you have to just let them take up residence in your life. You have a choice.
Yeah. And like you said, it's a powerful thing because I think I made a lot of choices not to choose friends younger.
Yeah.
I'm not really like how you think it through and say, nope, I don't want to be friends with them, but probably because of trauma and stuff, I just didn't want to be friends. I didn't trust.
Yeah. And I think for me, because I was an only child growing up, I was like, oh my God, be my friend, be my
You
friend, be
wanted
my
friends, yeah.
Yes. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted everybody to be my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And like at that, and like I said, the church, growing up in the church, and just feeling like you have to show yourself friendly to everybody. And I still believe that you show yourself friendly, but that does not mean that you make everybody that comes into your contact
Your
your friend.
friend, yeah,
Yes.
that's the difference.
And yeah, that's the difference. And knowing, and I'm learning at this, we did some boundary work around that on Monday, and just understanding that, you have a responsibility, because being a friend is hard work,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think a lot of people take that into consideration, the work that goes into relationships. You have to be accountable, you have to be empathetic, you have to be vulnerable.
You got to
um
be there.
you have to be there. And you know some people need you more than others. And so then you even have to know, I'm learning like how you have to know people's background, because a lot of times people's background, and if they've healed from that or not, will show what kind of friend they're going to need you to be in their life. you
And
know
you have to choose whether you can deal with that or not. So prior, to us becoming friends, um, I just thought about, I reflected on different friendships that I had in my life, and I used to get people who were, how do I say it? Okay, at one point, really needy,
Needy.
but I know because it's the helper in me, right? So I call myself trying to fix everybody, right? I wasn't trying to be a
Mhm.
friend, I'm trying to be a fixer. So I
Yeah.
realized that. Then I attracted people who were very domineering. And
Oh,
at the time, I wasn't domineering. Well, I don't even want to say I'm domineering now.
I was about to say, wait a minute, at the time, what do you mean? Because I
Right.
don't feel
Okay.
that way now. Yeah.
At the time, I could kind of take or leave friendship. So I had the cutoff thing. Like I can cut you off and keep it moving. Right. And so that's how our friendship went. But so could they, of course, because I attracted the type that I was. So
Yeah.
we would go through things and then we just would fall out. Then a year or two later, we end up getting back together as friends, and it was a pattern for a little while in my life. Then I had to realize with myself, I was like, I don't want to be that, number one. Number two, I don't want nobody in my life like that. And I had to look at the reasons why I was like that. You'll see in the video too. I talk about that. Well, it's not the whole video. It's only a clip of it, so you won't see. You only see what I put there. But yeah. So I just realized that certain friendships I can't handle
Yes,
if
Tony. Yes,
you're
that's the thing.
requiring. Yeah, like those friendships were requiring a whole lot of me, and I'm super busy, and I have to look at myself too. Like I know I'm busy because, well, I'm busy, number one, but I'm busy sometimes because when I grew up, I didn't have friends. So I found myself busy all the time doing stuff, right? That's
Yeah.
how I entertained myself or kept myself.
Mhm.
So I realized I enjoy that. I enjoy doing a lot of things by myself.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
I do like, but I do like being around other people as well.
Yeah.
But it's a balance, right? You have to
Yeah.
work.
Oh
You
yeah.
have to work on that balance. So when you have somebody who um, needs it their way, yeah, that didn't work any longer for me. I dealt with that for a long time. Like you think it's supposed to go your way because your husband, and it was two of them, right? They were almost identical. Their husbands like catered to everything that they did. I ain't gonna cater to you like that. I'm
No.
I'm not your husband, and I don't want that type of relationship. I don't have need for that. So friendship is a whole, prior to me and you becoming friends, I had to really, when you say it's a choice, I had to first decide that I was going to put the efforts in wholeheartedly.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, I mean, I've hurt people before because I would just pull out. I just pull out like, this is too much. I don't feel like being bothered with this, you know, and you have to set those boundaries. You got to talk about that sometimes. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you got to figure out what this person's need is. That's important up front, right? If you want to talk every day, I'm not the friend for you because
I'm not the friend for you.
it's not going to happen for me. I don't have that time. But some people do. But I think that's what happens. People don't really disclose those things in the beginning, and you think you're friends, and then it's like the demand might be too much.
And you don't want people to change who they are because you can't handle it.
Right.
You know, you just have to. It's friendships are like matches. Like they're like making little matches, like matching up cards and stuff. That's how I look at friendships. Like just because you're someone may be a queen and you're a joker, that doesn't mean that either card is like different. You know, I mean, like bad. It just means that you need to find your match. You got to
Right.
find a joker, and they need to find their king or queen. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I'm learning that, and I'm learning that all, like you were saying, that all boils down to choice. And so um I don't know, I'm allowing myself the opportunity to really and the permission to choose and be okay with the people. I personally feel, now I'm not no maintenance with James, but with my friends, and I think because they see what I have and how they don't think that I'm low maintenance, but that's the standards that I have for James are not the standards that I have for my friends.
No, it's
Like
different,
it's
right?
different.
That's a
It's
different,
different.
yeah.
It's different. But I have had people that have looked down on me because I asked James for a certain type of jewelry or not, and I wear it, and then they feel like, "Oh, I can't. I didn't ask you to do that for me. That's my husband."
Oh, yeah. There's some serious standards on mine.
Yeah.
But on a friendship, I mean, me personally, so I was watching a movie and the lady as a friend, she bought her a pair of red bottoms and she bought her friend a pair of red bottoms, right? I
I
was
can't
like,
handle that type
I
of
was like,
friendship.
wow. As
I
long as, okay, so I think that's something that has to be talked about because the friend who's doing the buying, does she expect for the other friend to
to
do the
do it
same for
too.
her, right?
Right.
And really, she has to think that thing through because you can't say, no, I don't expect that. I'm okay with that. But then when she doesn't, then she wasn't my friend no way because she never did this or that, right? So that's why I say friendships are really, I think a lot of times the conversations aren't had around why are we friends, right? What is your role in my life? It's a whole lot of questions in that.
I agree. Like I'm really low maintenance with my friends. Like gifts, I stick with things like money or Bath and Body Works, you know, real simple things because that's what I would expect from I don't expect from my friend. Now, some of my friends do great things for me, but I don't expect it. I don't expect, like my birthday present, I didn't expect that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just certain things I don't expect that. But I'm grateful for it. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I try to be very low maintenance. With my friends because I don't want them to think that that's what it's about for me. Like you're saying, you have to ask yourself, what is this friendship about? Like for me, what we do on Wednesdays or Thursdays or whenever we come on here, this is priceless to me. You know what I'm saying? It brings so much value to us as friends. Like I feel like our friendship has grown so much from these conversations.
Mhm.
Um or just being like the messages you send me, and I'm like, I need to find out where Tony be getting these messages from because I can't find it like that. Like I can't. I feel like a terrible friend because you send them at the right time, and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm so glad I have Tony in my life, because you just send it like when I need that kind of stuff the most, you know. I could be having like the worst moment or feeling really down or be like, oh my God, I haven't talked to Tony. And you will send me something like that. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, yeah, like I agree with the conversations, even though we don't have them as frequently, but this is our set time. So it's almost like a special time, you know?
It's a special time.
Yeah. So even though we most time,
Whoa, that was crazy.
I don't know what that was.
It was crazy. It's back.
Yeah. Oh, it was saying guest. Okay. I guess you popped out and popped back in. But it's like, you know, if we do have something to say, we'll say it during the week. We may not talk, but we'll say what we have to say. So yeah, I think for us it's like the conversation piece. Like that's what's important to me. Like I'm not looking for gifts. I like gifts, but I'm not looking for. That's not something I'm like. Oh, Shiante better buy me such and such, right? Or
Yeah,
do this or that. No, it's. I can express myself. I can be who I am, genuinely,
it's
and to
so
me,
easy.
yeah, that's what counts for me.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
that's what my therapist was saying. She was saying, like family relationships are complicated. You don't choose your family, but your friendship should not be complicated. They just shouldn't be complicated.
But that doesn't mean they don't come without conflict.
Yeah, complicated and conflict are two different things in my book.
Complicated, like you're trying to make it
Yeah,
happen.
like you're forcing it.
Yeah.
Like if it's something that you're trying to force to make happen, or you're overexerting yourself and overextending yourself, that to me that's what complicated is.
Yeah.
Conflict is, oh, we don't agree about something and let's see how we can work through this. Or you hurt my feelings when you did that. And I think that I have gotten complicated and confused in the past. And
Oh,
that was
probably me
all.
too. That's probably
Yeah.
why I cut people off after
Yes.
after it got to that
Yes.
point. I'd be like, because what do you do from there? You know, it's like, okay, we don't agree. And I'm all for, I know I'm okay with not agreeing, but it gets awkward. You
I
know,
think
sometimes.
who is with. I think it's because we haven't agreed in certain areas, but it's like we just respect each other and we just know how to. It's different. It's just our friendship is very easy. It is very easy.
I think that's the key, what you said, respect, right? Don't try to change me, and I can't try to change somebody else. If they feel this or that way, and I'm thinking back to those two friendships, right? Because it was like one of them, oh my goodness, super strong willed, right? And knew everything just about, right? And
So you can't
almost,
tell them nothing.
almost had to be right. And I'm like, okay, I don't feel like that, right?
Hmm.
And so then it would get awkward. It's like, oh, I didn't know, I never knew that part about you.
Oh wow.
Right. So let me tell you this, like this conversation that happened. It was about something about, I can't remember exactly, but it was something church related. It was something about belief in God or something. And we were different, right? And she was like, I never knew that. And you know, when you start turning your nose that you're being judgmental, I never knew that you felt this way about God and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, okay, now I feel like I can't tell you how I really feel because you're
Yeah.
judging it, right?
Yeah.
And then yeah, it just got awkward. And so we had several awkward points because to me she was extremely, I mean, very much um like aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that to me is like in a friendship, I can't say you can't be aggressive, but I don't know if I can deal with an aggressive friendship.
I think that I can't, because again, and I think we go back to childhood again, right? So I feel like in my childhood there was so much aggression, and that's a trigger point for me. I can't have that in friendships. I can't have somebody like being judged, like anything that really damaged me growing up. I can't have that because I'm trying to heal from that, right? Why would you then go and get somebody that's just going to trigger that? and not heal, not you don't heal from it. And so for me, I think that personally, someone that's very judgmental, especially now that I've changed, I think that I used to be very judgmental myself, just because that's what I was, taught. I was
Yeah,
taught
yeah,
that
yeah,
way.
yeah.
But now that I like, and you said you attract what you are,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm very particular about that, not being judged and stuff. So because I try not to judge people, I try to let people be where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I don't know, I think it depends on the person, because I think in some points people have still labeled me as being judgmental, even though I know I've really worked on that. Um but I think that that's probably insecurity.
Oh, yeah, I think so too. I mean, I still work on judgment. Like sometimes even in therapy, I might hear somebody say something. I'll be like,
Mm.
wow, that was a lot, right? But I think it's easier in therapy because I know that place is that's what that's for. They're supposed to be able to come here. If they can't come nowhere else, they know that they can come there and be able to just, be real and open up and say whatever it is. They might not be able to say it, and most don't say it to other people for that fact because they're afraid they're going to be judged. So I have to check myself a lot of times. I'll be like, oh, she just said she like girls too. Okay, yeah. And then you listen, right?
And then you listen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then
Yep.
you get an understanding, like makes sense to me. I understand. Or even if I don't understand, let me hear. That's her perspective, right? There's no need for me to judge because I don't want to be judged. And I tell myself that all the time. Like, why judge if you don't want to be judged? You don't want somebody to talk about you, or look at you in a way that really is not you. But people are always going to have their own perception.
So what's the true definition of judgment then, I guess? Like, what would you consider being judged?
Oh, should I look it up or?
Like, I mean, if you
Oh,
have to,
what would I
or
say?
yeah, like, what do you consider
Judging
judge? Yeah,
is
like judging somebody.
um taking what somebody tells you about them, I guess, taking something that they tell you about them and then kind of looking down on them.
What does that look like, though? Like, you don't look down on them, like, do you? Like, it's not a
Oh,
face.
sometimes
Like,
no, sometimes I'd be like, dang, like what, girl, for real, you just did what?
you think that's judging though,
Well, what is that?
or is it like a shock? Is it more just
Well,
let me
it's
process
shock.
that?
It's
You
shock
know?
mixed with like looking at the person like from the outside. I wouldn't get that from you.
So if like somebody is like uh going to church every Sunday, they're a pastor, and then they come to you and they like, let me just tell you, I'm married, but I got a whole side piece, and you like, what?
Oh, yeah. Um, would I probably judge? I don't know if it's you might be right. Like I might not be judging, but I might be shocked. Like
You're shocked,
because
yeah.
you're a man of the cloth. I'm thinking like, how is that possible? Like you know what the word says. You're up there standing before people. This is good. We having this conversation because I did just change my bio and I got my first church person. And I was like, you know what I think God showed me and told me? Um, that I hit the vein.
Yeah,
I hit the vein because soon as I posted it, I got the client.
people
And
want
I
to
was
talk.
I was like, God, is that like are you telling me that so that's so he's working with me on how okay, so we jumped to something else, right? But we can come back.
No, you good. We good.
He's working on me with the whole purpose thing, right? And I'm honing in more on that, right? So you can know your purpose, but purpose also can be expanded.
Hmm.
So your purpose, my purpose is a therapist. hands down, right? I'm a therapist. But then God starts to define it. It gets more clearer, right? As you keep walking in your purpose, maybe at one point, because you needed to learn, it could have just been broad. But I think God starts to narrow it down to a specific thing. And when I did that, when I changed my bio, I said, I told God, I said, I hit that vein, didn't I? I was like, I hit that vein because you sent that person right away.
Right away.
That's what I feel. I feel like it's such a need for that,
It
that
is.
pastors, their wives, ministers, their wives, people of the in the church so focus on the spiritual that they miss the natural. And it's a whole scripture that talks about that, right? You think
Mm-hmm.
that if you deal with the spiritual, that's going to help your natural. Well, your natural is something you have to do the work on, right? The spiritual is a God piece.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can go to church, jump, shout, but when you leave, if you were molested, you still got to deal with the
Got to deal
trauma,
with that.
the stuff that comes with that. And that's what people who go to church a lot of time miss. And I feel like God is really calling me to that place to show people of church that there is a spiritual and it's a this and it's not a one. It's, it's more to it.
So I'm gonna be praying for you, my friend, because I think that that's where you're gonna experience the most frustration.
I know that. I
Yeah,
agree with you. I know
yeah.
that.
And I need you to understand that that is not judgment.
Oh,
That is the fact that
I think
you
it's
have a
learning.
different kind of mindset than they do, right? And they're coming to you to be unlocked and to be exposed to that. But that that step, like that step from here to here, is going to be the most challenging but rewarding thing, because you're not going to understand why they can't just see in their head what's right there in front of their face.
Come on,
But
prophet.
they can't see it. They're not going to be able to see it, and you're going to feel like you're judging them because it's going to be so obvious to you. But you're going to have a lot of empathy and a lot of understanding, because when they come to you, their eyes are going to be so closed. So I pray in the name of Jesus that their eyes are open so that they may be able to see what you are going to be willing to pour into them, because they're not going to be like your normal and average marriage and family counseling. This is a totally different
It
area,
is.
and they're going to come in and they're going to be so naive to reality,
Yep. Yep.
because they have lived in spirituality for so long that they're not going to even be, what they say,
The
they're so
understanding.
heavenly bound, they're
Yeah.
no earthly good. So
Yep.
you got to bring them back, you got to ground them. There's going to have to be a lot of exercising, a lot of patience, a lot of endurance. Know that you are more than able and qualified to do this, but you're going to have to approach it a different way than you do now with your clients.
It's totally different. So I had the first one today.
Okay. So was it different? Yeah.
Well, so like I was drained because
Mm-hmm.
it's something I've never experienced, right? And then I start thinking like, well, maybe I didn't hit the bank. Maybe I ain't supposed to do this because I don't know nothing about it. And then I heard Myron Golden talk about, you know, like when you first start something, of course, like you're gonna feel like awkward and you're gonna feel like this may not be it. But I almost honestly, I almost like with almost everything in me, I can't say 100%, but I believe that this is the calling. I believe that this is what he's called me to. Then when I got off, I was like, so why did he call me? Right then, a lot of questions started coming up because I know I'm going to get hit with the questions. The questions of why did you choose to do this type of therapy? I didn't grow up in church, right? So that's not my reason. And so I started to think about that, like, why do I care so much about the people of the church? Right? And this particular niche of people. And It's just really because I'm sick of the church. I
Yeah,
just want people to get delivered and know that they're human first, right? You're a spirit, you have a spirit part of you, but I want you to know both.
you're
Don't
not
just
all
know,
spirit.
right. Don't just know the one part. And that's why it frustrates me that the church still is not talking about therapy, the importance of mental health. Why not?
You have it's the mind, body, and soul. The body has the soul and the mind. You have to make sure that they're like on a seesaw and they balance each other out within the body, because if they don't, your body is what's going to suffer.
And I know I got to do some more studying because I don't know. I think that that's what I'm going to be on the stage teaching, and I'm going to have to know my stuff because they're going to come at the church, going to beat me up more than anybody else
Absolutely, because
because it's a
it's like a
breaking
beehive
of,
in itself.
it's the whole. So when I think about it, it's what the Bible talks about is a stronghold. It's a stronghold that the church has used and leaned on for so long, right?
And you
And
coming up against it.
exactly, right? Why you trying to free the people? It's a freeing of the people.
It's a whole revolution, to be honest with you.
It is. So I don't even know what I stepped into, but I'm in it now. And I'm not no punk. I don't back down. So I'm just like at this point, with me having the first client, I already know that he want me to do something with it. So I'm just gonna keep walking.
Oh, that's such an amazing feel for you. It's so great because it's so needed. And it's so many people that I got Jesus and I don't need nobody else kind of thinking. And it's like, yeah, we know you got Jesus, but your mind need some help too. Like you have to have some type of mental capacity around life as well. It's just not about being it's because we're not us, we are spiritual, but we are not spirit. Like
That's
if we
it.
were spirit, then we would not need a human body. Like we are human,
Come on. And
which makes it a need to operate in a duality of mental and spiritual. It's two. That's what makes us human.
yep. And I say I have to correct it now. This is the second person. But the first couple, which is one of my favorite couples, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got them after I changed my bio and also said something about, I had said something about spiritual and natural, right? Helping the spiritual and natural. And that's when I got them. And I changed my bio after that. And I was like, I put it back to just regular stuff, right? Like everybody else talks about therapy, blah, 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 right? And then, so I guess God talked to me again, right? And I finally figured out what my niche was. And then last week, that's when I did my new bio, and then she came. So it's like, I think that is confirmation now. Because when I change it, right, they come. But
Mm-hmm.
it's so hard to talk about because some of the stuff that I be thinking in my head, I don't even know how to explain it. Because I don't know how to explain it in a language that people will understand. But God shows me so clearly what it looks like. You understand what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
the spiritual and the natural. But how do I'm a lowest common denominator person. How do I, it's like what you said, it's the gap in between here.
What do you do?
How do I get that lowest common denominator to them? And it's just being real and raw. That's all I know is to be real and raw with them that you may have been taught this, you may think this, and you may try and throw scripture at it, but in this case, it's not scripture. It's not that it's not scripture, right? It's that it's natural.
So, you ready for this? I
I'm
feel
ready.
it. Oh God, I feel it. So you are not going to be able to handle them real and raw.
What? Oh,
They're
because
too
they'll
they're too
run. They'll
fragile.
run.
They're too fragile for it.
They'll run.
Can't do it. So
Well,
you're
then I don't
going
know
to
how to
have
do it.
to explore a different avenue. I'm telling you, and it will come to you. If you you have to explore a different avenue. And when you do, you're gonna be like, it's gonna just hit you. But you're not gonna be able the way that you
Yeah, because I
I'm
do
so
therapy real
serious.
and raw now. You're right.
You
You're right.
the way that you do it, it's like this is a totally different area.
Hmm. Oh, it's
And
totally
it's
different. I feel
and
it.
it's new. It's new, and something about you is gonna have to be new too.
Yeah. I don't want to die to that. And that's probably the whole piece, right? Me dying to the old me or how I did, or the comfortability now that I've become with doing therapy the other way.
Right. It's gonna be, and that's what I was saying. It's not only a shift for them, it's gonna be a shift for you.
Yeah. Oh, I
Like,
see it.
mm-hmm.
I see it after,
Yeah.
especially after today. After today, I was like, it was kind of, how do I describe it? Like, I feel like um, the person got what they were supposed to get in order to know that I was their assignment. I was assigned to them. Let me say that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But that the connection piece is not quite there. You know how you have like a loose light bulb maybe and it'll flicker,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yep.
like it's not all the way turned
Right.
into the socket.
Mm-hmm. So you have to seek God to figure out what you need to tighten it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when you do that, you know, it's gonna, cause I mean, you listen. That's a part of therapy. That's the basis of therapy. But they're a little bit more sensitive, and when you have those sensitive clients in that area, um, because I think a lot of Christian clients, they've already been given that raw deal, especially Christian, like Baptists and stuff. They've been given that yelling and the sternness and the that. That's why they are where they are. So they're scared. They're scared. So you have to approach them in a different kind of way. I don't know if this is making sense, but if you have to approach them in a way that makes them feel very comfortable.
So when you say the sternness, I think of laws, rules, and all these things that they've had to abide by. Um, and I don't know what the piece that I need to bring. It's not just love; it's something else. But they've had the way that I normally do therapy, in a sense, right? They've had that, like, yeah, you can talk to me raw. I think that they are missing love, though. The love
Oh
piece.
yeah, okay. So the people who you've had before have needed structure,
Hmm.
whereas these people have too much structure,
Yeah.
and they need to feel like they can be free
So it's
and not be judged.
loosening them up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that makes me think of my life. Like my life, um, I've had too much structure with Jehovah's Witness, right?
Hmm.
So then I bounced and I was real loose, right? And so then when I got saved, it was a structure, but I never let myself get too I never let myself get too controlled ever again by a church, right? My relationship became about God, not, it was about the spiritual piece, not me being stuck in church. And I think the people that I'm going to deal with is so stuck in church, and the church rules, regulations, and all that, that they forget that it's not, it's not about the physical church, right? It's about your relationship really with God. And I think people, the ministers, pastors and their wives, they get so stuck in this is their church. It's not your church. That you forget to live life. So I get it, right? But I don't know
Yep.
how to give it to them. I don't
You
know
just
how.
you have to be that one that they can finally come to and not feel like they have to be anything.
Just be. You don't have to do all this stuff.
Yes.
You don't turn flips and all this stuff with me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. You
Just be
could
you.
totally just be, but they don't know who they are.
That's true.
Their identity is wrapped up in the church.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when you strip them of that, what are they? And I mean, like, that is like one of the most scariest things when, you know, you feel like God is, the church is your identity. And then, you know, and you're finding that I'm in the church, so God is here. And as long as I'm doing this, I'm pleasing God. And you're the furthest thing from it,
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's not God,
Mm-hmm.
that's man. And so just being able to find a place where they don't have to be that. They can just, and they can start to, because you talking about purpose and identity is locked up.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. But they think that they're walking in their purpose because I do this in the church, or I have all these ministries that I'm over. And then it's a thing about power in the church, right? So if I don't have this power, who am I? Right? If I'm not working in the church, who really am I?
And
People
it's
look
not saying that you don't have to work in the church at all.
right.
It's saying,
It's balance.
is that it? Is that all you have in you?
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And some people gonna resist that because that's all they've known.
Believe me, I know. That's where I was when I went and I came to my counselor. I didn't know anything outside of the church. That was my safe haven. And it's when you have been put in a situation like that, I think sometimes you struggle with like the balance of, okay, well, what is the church and what is God?
Mm-hmm.
And what I found is that the only way you can really tell the difference is by having authentic relationship with God. You have to be intentional about finding God. You have to be intentional about being vulnerable with God, being transparent with God, being open with God, all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And then it will become more clear the difference between church and God. And it will become more clear um when you are straying too far away from God. There will become a very linear line.
Yeah. And it makes sense, all the things I've been through, like rejection, abandonment, all those things, because he had to deal with me and I had to learn how to deal with those things. Even like recently, like when I talked to you about the group, like feeling like, I'm trying to do all this and do that. It's not, you do what you're supposed to do. You do what God has called you to do. If you just supposed to make this post, you make the post, right? You cannot save somebody. All you
Oh
can do
no.
is one plants, one waters, and God gives the increase. And that's what I'm learning. Do what God has called, walk in your purpose, and you can be okay with that. The rest is not on me.
Because he sent one person to save the world, and it wasn't me and it wasn't you.
Mm-hmm.
So we are all hands
Mm-hmm.
in it, but we are not the ultimate say to what somebody does.
Right.
So you just do your part and just know that that's enough. Like, and then, like you said, somebody else will come along and do something else. We like to get our hands on something and see it from start to finish,
Mm-hmm.
when we might just be at the start
Mm-hmm.
and have
And
to pass it on and never see how it ends. You know what I'm
right.
saying? But are you okay with doing your part?
And that's what he's working on me with. Like, I called you to do this or that. If nobody responds, know that the seed has been planted.
Mm-hmm.
You did your part in planting the seed.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm getting comfortable with that. It's like, Okay. You know, I don't overthink that anymore. I used to really just like, why is nobody responding? Why do I even do this group? Da-da-da. And he, you know, you gotta learn to just relax in me. Let me handle the other stuff. You know, like I told you what you are supposed to do, which open back up the group, right? And that's what you do. You don't worry about what other people, how they respond and all that. Because then it's all about you getting the glory. You worried
Mm-hmm.
about you getting the glory. Oh, she posted this. I got 10,000 likes. It's all about you then. It's not about that.
And that like stuff starts so early. I have a TikTok account now just for my daughter and her friends to do dances or whatever they want to do. And they're like, oh, how many likes do we get? What? And it's like, listen, don't worry about it. Well, how many views did I get? And then how many likes did I get from the views? And it's like, you're 12. Why is that even a concern of yours now? Like, just do you like doing this? Okay, well then just do what you like to do and don't worry about who likes it.
Yeah, I hear you saying that all the time in my ear when sometimes the like thing still does come up, or how many views did I get, or I got these many views. What? Yeah, why does it matter?
Why does
Why
it
does
matter?
it matter? If you get zero, you know what I'm saying? If you get zero, did you do what you were supposed to do?
But it's very hard because we as human beings want to be accepted.
Yeah, true.
And it's something about the liking and the not liking that makes you feel rejected.
But that's what I said. So he's working on me with the rejection piece because so many of these pastors and their wives, ministers and their wives will come rejected. And that's the reason why they do so much in the church because they've been
To replace that.
rejected. Exactly. I'm getting it. I hear it. I understand it, but it's walking through it.
But that's also how you get taken advantage of too. Because most churches,
Yeah.
pastors that are there for money, they look for people who come from broken home. They like literally ask you, what was your childhood like? What was it? They'll ask you that.
What?
Yes.
Before you can work in the church?
No, they'll just have conversations with you, is what I'm saying. You know, they'll just have conversations and then they'll get this information and they'll be like, oh, yeah. They'll start priming you then because they'll know, oh, she got daddy issues. Oh, he didn't grow up with a mom. Oh, let's see if I could press this button. And they know as soon as they shot you out in church or something like that, and you like peep up, they know then, uh-oh, I got him, and then it just starts this chain of things, right? And then it's like they know that if they ask you to do anything, you're gonna do it because you want to be accepted. You want to be liked. And that is just like the most terrible thing to do with a person. Because the church is probably their last resort because they've done so much to be accepted in the world. So they're like, okay, this is my chance. This is my chance. I'm going to go get saved and I'm going to walk this walk and I'm going to be accepted. And then the moment you're rejected, that can like send somebody over a cliff.
Mm, mm.
Because where do they go then when the church rejects you?
Especially the church, right? Because they
Yeah.
esteem the church as being almost the be all, end all, be all, right? And so,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, I'm a minister over this, or I'm the pastor's wife, or that title. You know, it's them titles
It's the titles.
that people just get
Definitely
caught
the
up
title.
in. You know, and it's like, oh, I'm over this ministry, and I do this, and I do that. You do it.
It's intoxicating.
Yeah, yeah. I could I mean, I've never been on a ministry. I said I'm going to join when I get to Florida, but I probably need to think that thing through first.
I think it just depends on, you have to know where I know that I'm not ready to be on anybody's ministry or anything like that, just because there is still so much like trauma. I don't know if I ever be on a ministry again, to be honest with you, because it's just so much trauma around that for me. I am totally good with maybe going to church once a month and then
Hmm.
watching my pastor online. that's where I mean I struggle with that sometimes as far as like what is that doing for Kaden in her walk with God. But we have been very clear with her about being intentional about finding God every single day, everywhere she goes. That like we're trying to make sure that she doesn't think that, oh, I'm a bad person if I'm not going to church.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for myself that maybe I don't know if I'll be on a ministry, but I know that I'm going to be used in the church. And it could be for this piece, right? It could be for this whole piece, deliverance piece. Maybe that's where it will start.
I love that for you. I truly do because I think that too many times people try to use spirituality, like you said, to heal them from brokenness. And yes, spirituality moves you. It moves you in a direction to being aware that you need to be healed, but it doesn't just heal you miraculously.
No, because people think, I mean, like they say, like people think, oh, yeah, oh, we had church, right? Oh, the spirit was high in here today. And so I fell out and they put the cover over me. And now I'm 100% healed. And I was molested and on drugs and raped and all that is gone. No, boo. How you don't understand that? And I'm not saying that God can't heal, but I think healing is a process, right? I think that something like with a lot of the traumas that the church is coming with and dealing with that they ain't dealing with, they just jumping and shouting and running up and down the aisles and thinking that they're getting delivered and they go home and they smoking and tooting and all this stuff and you think that you were delivered. Make it make sense. Like
I think, yeah, I think that deliverance and healing are two different things.
me too, but the
Or,
church will teach it like deliverance and healing is they'll say a deliverance and healing ministry, right? Which makes you think that they're the same.
or salvation and healing. I don't think that salvation to me
Oh,
is like I think salvation is a freedom from something. Like it's a way out, but when you get out, you still have to deal with what had you in.
I think salvation is an entryway.
Yeah, it gives you a way out. Like you're stuck, and then next thing you know, you see a door, and it's like, oh, a
Yeah.
door? I didn't even know that was over there. But you have to deal with what had you in that locked up in that dark space in the first place. You can't neglect that because it's somewhere here in your head.
Yes, it's a lot of places in your head and body.
Yes, that you got to work through and you got to deal with that. We are grateful and we're so thankful for salvation, for a way out. But
Right.
when you get out, you can't forget that you got to go back.
Come on. And go through
Yeah.
because so
Oh,
many people don't want to deal with what happened to them that they think that, oh, once I get saved, that's it. No,
oh,
that's
I
the
love how you said that.
beginning.
I love how you said that. Like, and I'm even seeing that for me. Like, the door is over there to come out of my room, right? But I have to make the effort to get up and walk towards the door. Our salvation is right there.
Hmm.
But you got to get up and you got to make the effort to get to it. And that getting to, here we go, is this.
Hmm.
It's that. It's from going from here to here. And I think that that's where you're going to have to operate, Tony.
Yeah. I
You're going to have to get them to the door.
the problem is I can talk to you about it, but I don't know how to talk. I wouldn't know how to talk to a congregation about it. And so that's probably the study that I will have to seek God on. What do I need to study?
Healing, true healing.
You know what my other new bio was on my page, right?
What?
Professional questioner, listener, and healer. And I said, am I a healer? Why did I put healer down here? But it makes sense.
Healing. You have to walk. You have to know that. Like, healing is needed. People, because no one has taught them what healing truly is, they just automatically assume, like you say, they fall on the ground, they get touched by the pastor, they get the anointing oil on them, they're healed. But I've never seen that. I've never seen that. Think about a physical injury, Tony. When have you ever seen somebody that is physically injured go from one day they just, I'm talking about one day they are down to the very next day just be like, oh, my leg is working right. You break a bone, the next day you're not going to be walking on that leg
So now
or
that
that
brings me
arm.
to scripture, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when the Bible talked about, how certain people were healed, was it still a work in between that? Were they healed by the word, but they still had to walk through the healing? Does that make sense, right? Like, did God or Jesus might have said, "You're healed," right? Remember
Mm-hmm.
those blind people or something? It was 10 of
Yeah,
them.
they were
And
able to see.
so, were they healed by his word? Did they actually see in that moment, or did they have to walk through? Did they? Okay, here it is. They still had to walk through the different pains and issues that came with them when they didn't see.
Absolutely, he gave them the door, the salvation, like the deliverance. He gave them that door, but then it is still a bare. And I think that because it's not described in the Bible in that way, it's not. Look, people think that healing it's instantaneous, and it's not. Like you have to go. The best story that I've ever heard in the Bible to describe what we're talking about. Yeah, you can go and pull the one with the issue of blood, and how she touched the hem of his garment and she was healed. You can talk about Jairus's daughter who was dead and she came to life. All these things are instantaneous, or they appear that way. But the most, I think that because there just is not enough words in the Bible to just go through that whole healing. They
I just
talk
got
about
it.
it that way. But I'm telling you, there is a process, and I'm gonna tell you the one who shows you that it is a process. Paul, he was blinded. He was blinded for 3 days. 3 days is very symbolic about a wholeness. It's not, I don't necessarily think it was three. It was 3 days. But what I'm saying is 3 days, it just shows you that it was a period of time. It didn't happen at once. So where he was blind, he had to go on a path. He had to go and see people. He had to go through trainings. He had to do all of this before he became Paul, the person who wrote 2/3 of the New Testament. It was not instantaneous for Paul, and it's not instantaneous for us. And if we continue to skip past healing, we are not going to walk in our purpose. That's how I put it. Fully. We're not going to be able to embrace that. We're going to keep pimping our purpose.
Mm, yeah. So what you said, like, the church has taught that it's instantaneous. That's
Yeah.
part of the redoing that I'm going to have to teach. That,
It's not. Yes.
right. And so he said that he's going to give me revelation of what it really was. I don't want to go through that. I hope I don't have to physically go through it, because he's going to show me revelations of what it really was like.
And I've been there. I'm telling you, Tony, it's yoga, it's deep meditation, it's crying, it is,
It's
man, when I
body,
tell
it's
you, it's
body work. It's body work.
oh
Because a lot of it is health. So I got a lot of study on the body too, right? Like, because a
yes.
lot of people are carrying stuff in their body, and that's preventing them from getting healed. But the thing about it is, and you already know, most black folks don't want to do no body work. They don't. They don't
Mm-mm.
want to do the work. But
And
I have to do what he's telling me to do. I heard that earlier when we were talking. It's a lot in the body. Before you can even get to the mind, it's a lot of it that's stuck in body parts.
deep breathing. That's why you got all these people with high blood pressure. They in the church, but they have a high blood pressure, and it ain't because you eating grandma's ribs. You
Hmm.
are not dispelling that stuff. You're not doing the work to get that stuff out of you. You're not doing the work. Just like a baby. Babies do not come into this world easy.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just get pregnant and then the next day you're like, oh, here's my baby. No, you go through some pain.
And you know what just came up for me when you talked about babies? Babies have to be birthed.
Yes.
We don't get birthed as adults. And how
No.
many of us burp after we eat?
Mm.
Babies were burped because it has to bring it up.
Gotta bring it up. And
And
these are
we,
babes in Christ that you are going to have to literally bring it up. Now, how you choose to do that is going to be a sequence of events. That's why I keep telling you about this compound, girl. Not even I won't call it a compound because we don't want it to seem like a cult.
oh,
So we want, but I like this, like a resort. It's gonna be a resort. I just keep seeing resort, and I keep seeing them coming away, and them going through like a whole cleansing program, a healing. I personally still I need to go through that. I literally was just telling my counsel like 2 weeks ago. I need to do a soul work thing. I still, even though I am where I am, I still feel like I've skipped some steps for my true healing. I have to undergo it. It's so many things out there. Oh, come and do this cleanse. Oh, come. I don't know which path to take,
gotcha. Mm-hmm.
but I know I need to go on a deep soul cleansing journey. I literally just told her that.
And I literally want to move to Ghana.
What?
Yeah, like I could see that's where it would be, like at the motherland. Like I really could see that.
Oh, yeah.
Tyrone ain't going for it though. But I could definitely see it. Like I could learn a lot of things different than here.
And you don't want to see like another thing, like another.
Yeah,
No,
no,
you don't want to seem like these get
no,
wellness program. Like it's gonna be a wellness program, a
yeah.
healing, but it's not gonna be like this cliche type. Oh, come take your shoes off and sit outside and meditate. Like it's gonna be so worth it. Breathing, like every morning you get up, you go outside, you meditate. A lot of it's gonna have to be about consistency and repetition.
And it's nature. That
Yeah,
I know. It's nature
it's
because
gotta
that's
be.
where healing happens in nature.
Yes.
They got to get from out of the four walls. They got to know that it's not going to happen the way that they normally would think it would happen, right? How their spirituality is. They're going to have to experience something totally different.
You're gonna
Which
have to
means,
go through you're gonna have to research rehab programs too, because there's gonna be some stuff from there where you're gonna have to detox what they eat, all that. It's gonna be all of it. Eating,
that's funny you
sleeping.
say that because I really want to be a naturalist. Naturalist in eating, meaning grow my own food so I know what it is like, right? And that would be cutting out meat. I would be cutting out meat. It would just be straight up out the ground, and that's what I reached out to my pastor and asked him, do they grow their own? Do they have a garden? Like, I think that that's so important to our people to have foods with seed.
And they need to see it. I don't know why I keep doing that.
Yeah, foods with seeds in it, right? Because that's what reproduces. And so that's what I'm going to do. And that's now I know. Come on. Woo. That's why I have the land because I'm going to grow my own. And that will be the caveat to what's going to come.
And you have to show people because it's
Yeah.
easy. Like Bandy talks about a lot of that, right?
Yeah.
And you can see that it really benefits her. But people have to be sometimes in an environment
Yeah.
where they can foster that and where it feels very natural, and before they can even start to practice it.
Well, hell, I'm going to have to myself on my own land. I ain't never, that's never something I desired. I don't know where this want to be growing basil and oregano and my own uh
Fruits and vegetables,
yeah, and cooking with like olive oil that I can press myself, and you know what I'm saying, like, but it makes sense if that's where he's leading me.
with your tunic on.
No, I'm still gonna be fly baby. I'm still gonna be dressing. I ain't gonna be with you. That don't take that away from me. I asked him not to take that one away because I like to dress now. So I'm gonna be fly out there, you know,
You gonna be
gathering
like
my
Jody
stuff.
mom on Baby Boy with this.
That part, right? Yeah, that I don't want to be that. Whew, yeah, no, I don't have to do that. That at all. But
That's what's gonna make you so unique that you still are a person. You didn't lose your personhood just because you decided to walk this way.
that's a part of showing the church, right? Learn you. That's a part of walking in purpose. Be you. Don't let, because you're working in the church, change your core you, your core self, right? You got to know who that core self is. I'm not letting anybody, Jehovah's Witness faith, try to make me be something I wasn't. And I wasn't going. I fought against it. That's why they kicked me out. They said, you got to go because you're going to turn too many people out.
You are a rebel.
Right. Yeah, I would say so. So God used it, He knows how to use it for his good.
He does.
Yeah. I would say that. I could see that. It's becoming more clear, and I don't know how we even got here. We got here by talking about friends. But yeah, this was so it's so clear to me. I can see it, but it's not clear of how to. I think I just got to start researching and reading and studying it.
And I'm gonna be so happy, like 2 years from now, when we look back at these podcasts and we're like, "Oh my God, girl, do you remember when we were just like getting into it? And look at you now." Yeah,
Look
it's
at
gonna be
me
great.
now.
Well, I'm saying in this particular instance, like we talked
Oh,
a lot
and this.
about
Oh
you
yeah,
tonight.
yeah,
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 yeah. Uh-huh. It's gonna be great. We're gonna go far.
yeah. That's why these are good to, even when I look back and I look back last year over the things that I did last year. I'm like, wow, look at where I am now.
Mhm.
It gives you a reflection. It gives you something to look back on, right? And
Yep.
you can even study, like, okay, I think I need to work on this or do this a little different.
Yep. Oh yeah. It's gonna be great. I'm excited about our future.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you know Shantia is pregnant? I knew
I
she was
saw.
pregnant.
I knew she was pregnant. I could
I
tell
knew
her.
she was. You could see it.
You
I
could see
said
her face.
2 weeks ago, I said, when I hadn't seen her in a while, I said, she pregnant.
Yep.
Yep.
I
I said,
tell. I
she
showed
pregnant. You
James. I said, "Oh, she got the pregnant face."
It's full. It was full. And
Yep.
then she just all in her cheeks. I was like, yep,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think it's amazing.
it is. It is. Got
So
married and now she got seed. It's like, but that's what God is doing for us.
that's what I'm saying. We joined together, and now it's like, yeah,
And remember when it first happened, like, that's crazy how we met and we didn't really have the connection. The connection wasn't with us.
no, no, and it's just like, and it's crazy because it just happens so just naturally. You
I
got
don't
a
even.
book now.
Oh, your girl spoke it into existence.
She did. She
Yeah.
did. She
Hmm.
did.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got a book now. I got a book coming soon. It's
Yep.
just the beginning.
Man, can you imagine what's to come?
I can't even imagine. I don't even want to imagine because I don't want to put a cap or a seal on it.
Uh, right.
Not
Yeah.
putting that on there. So we just gonna just keep going as it keeps coming to us and know that it's not linear. Oh guys, I don't know what happened to Tony. Let's see if she comes back on. Oh, there you are.
Yep. I was
Okay.
getting a phone call.
Oh, I'm like, what's happening? Okay.
Oh, now I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
But I can't hear you. So that must mean it's time for us to go. It was at the right time.
It was.
Wow.
34 minutes.
Oh, 34 minutes. Yep. Great. All right. Well, next week we will see you all.
Yes, we will see you all
What
next
great,
week.
huh?
Oh, you heard me?
I can see your lips.
Go ahead.
Huh? What? Oh, wrap up?
Yeah, you talk.
Okay. So we will be back next week. This is our safe space. Y'all, man, look, y'all gonna look back on these videos and y'all, at some point, y'all gonna be like, we had all that access to them then. And then in 2 years, y'all gonna be like, oh, now we gotta pay to play. No, I don't wanna be like that. I want no, you'll look back though, you will see a difference, right? 2 years, man, I can only imagine. Nothing but greatness. So we will see y'all back next Wednesday. And as I said on the description, we just talk. We go wherever we're led to go. And this has been amazing to me. Like, yeah, eye-opening for me, and lets me know where I need to go, the study that I need to do. And time is really no issue because, it's going to happen.
You're going to get there.
Yep. All right. Love you, friend. I will see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye-bye, you all.